With a new season comes a new Ultimate Pass tank, this time around a Tier 9 Premium American Tank Destroyer, the TS-60. So how is it? The TS-60 packs a 120mm gun that hits for 400 damage, reloading at a base of 9.2 seconds, which gives it a base DPM value of 2608, which is decent for Tier 9 tank destroyers. The shells you'll be shooting will be a standard AP round with 258mm of penetration and 1150 shell speed, and premium heat rounds with 320mm of penetration and 950 shell speed. Your HE has 515 alpha increase and 60mm of penetration with 850 shell speed. The gun handling on this tank has 0.42 accuracy, which isn't the greatest, and 1.7 seconds aim time. So overall, a decent gun that to me is meant more for brawling with this tank's setup. That being said, it gets 7 degrees of gun depression all around the tank, not just the sides. Despite being a rear turreted tank, it can utilize its full gun depression capabilities over the front. That turret is limited, however, in its traverse capabilities, as it can only go 136 degrees to the left and to the right before it's blocked by this plow thingy at the back of the tank. Being rear turreted means it's good at side scraping, right? Actually, yes. Comparing this tank to PC's counterpart, we actually buffed its armor quite substantially, making it a far more formidable brawler like mentioned. The turret ring that extends out the side of the hull is quite strong and curved, and also blocked visually by some visual noise, especially with the skin, making it slightly more difficult to acquire where the ring is in the first place. But it is quite thick and curved, so penning isn't easy. As for the lower plate, it was actually buffed as well, but is still a typical weak point on the front of the hull, if not looking at it at extreme angles. But looking at it at extreme angles should mean you have better options to shoot anyway. The face of the tank was also buffed to have quite substantial armor thickness as well. So if you're struggling to pen this tank, you can of course aim for that cupola that's only 95mm thick and quite easy to hit. Of course, when playing with all this armor on the front lines, you also have 1900 HP to trade with. This is up there with the likes of some heavies and well above the T95 even. Still waiting on that thing to get 1950 HP, but this thing seems to be designed for that brawling life. So decent gun with good brawling capabilities, how are its distance shooting capabilities? Well, it does get 380 meters base view range, it does have worse moving concealment at 390 meters, and is still concealment of 355 meters, which is better than things like the T30 and the Tortoise, but still not the greatest. It's decent at staying concealed at the back, but obviously not the most reliable. Getting to positions though is a bit rough, which is why I prefer to play forward, so if the flank is won, I'm not chasing for damage catching up with the team on the front line. Rather than sit in the back and then have to pull forward, I'm starting forward and fighting with my armor, allowing me to be on that front line when the flank is won, so I'm more likely to get damage off of the other flanks. That's because its top speed is only 35 kilometers an hour forward and 12 backwards, with an acceptable power to weight ratio of 15.45. So while you won't be struggling to reach that speed, it's still not fast enough to keep up with the speeds of the games nowadays, in my opinion. With all that being said, that's my overall consensus on this tank. It's a tank with above average brawling, with that good armor, high HP, good gun with nice handling but low end accuracy, as well as being able to perform at the back end if necessary, making it not fixed to just one role. But, and it's a big but, if you're looking for that all-rounder and you want a Tier 9 American tank destroyer, the AAT-60 does exist. While I really enjoy what the TS-60 brings into the game and how it fits into a style of its own as an American tank destroyer, it's hard to ignore that there's an overpowered all-rounder in the same tier and class that can do everything this can and better. But if you're like me and find OP tanks to be boring, then the TS-60 is a very nice choice and a good pickup. But if you're looking for power and want the best in class, then just wait for the AAT-60 to be sold again. To be clear though, the TS-60 is very good, an above average brawler with enough capabilities to be in other roles, and if you enjoy unique gameplay, this is worth the pickup. I'm not saying this thing needs a buff in any way, I'm just saying, this thing though is only 6k gold and part of a season pass with extra earnings as well, and comes with its own skin. But if you don't care how cheap it may be, and what else comes with it, and you're only looking for that all-powerful all-rounder that's good at literally everything, then again, just wait for the AAT-60 to be sold. Either way, solid A tank. So let's get into some gameplay, but before we do, what am I rocking on this tank? Equipment wise, I have improved vents, rammer, and optics, because if I'm on the front line, I care not about camo, and instead would like to spot more at further distances to help the team and myself. My usual go-to consumable loadout of a premium repair kit, food rations, and a standard med kit, because I like to penny pinch where I can, and the standard med kit has enough crew protections that I rarely need to use it more than once in a game. And speaking of that crew, the commander is rocking my usual tank destroyer perks of 6th Sense, rapid loading, steady aim, born leader, snapshot, situational awareness, run and gun, camo expertise, and silent driving. If you really want to quote unquote build into that brawling style, you can swap out silent driving for controlled impact or supply conservation, but I would still keep camo expertise regardless for those times when it comes in handy. But now, let's jump into some Ace Tanker gameplay. And here we are on Pearl River. Now, I believe we're not top tier. There's some tier 10s in the game, and yes, there is. There's an E4 over there to the right. Oh, it's a Death Star. 183s. And although I said this was sort of a brawling tank, I decided I don't really like brawling on Pearl River, you know, over in the middle. So I'm gonna go over here and snipe. I was also streaming at this point. So most of the time when I'm streaming and I'm yapping on the stream, just talking to chat, I will just autopilot and drive. So honestly, I didn't even really make the decision to go over here in the first place. And the first shot of the game is going to bounce off of a TVP 5051, not VTU. The second one I'm going to get in, and this TVP is doing some questionable things. I don't know if he realizes how much line of sight we have on him that there is from him being that low. Might think he's being sneaky or something, but he's not, obviously. And now I'm keeping close eye as well on my camo circle, my camo ring, that little dotted line that tells you what's your best camo, which I believe also changes per game depending on the highest view range of the enemy team. But TVP's gone, made mistakes, clearly didn't know what he was doing. But again, I'm paying attention to my dotted line to see the middle of the map and where that light tank is if anything pops up. And of course, before anything spotted within that circle, I get outspotted by something that wasn't quite in the bush. So it's kind of telling me there's someone in the middle of the map that spotted me, and I was correct. There's a light tank, so I'm moving to a new position. Not going to try that position again because I don't need to. It's 11 to 12, and Chief has to interrupt my game with a message. No. But we're going to now shoot at this other TS-60, who is popping onto our side of the map from the middle. You have the middle, then you have middle. But usually this happens on Pro River where you can shoot over here. You can stay like my initial position and this position. You can swap between to fight on both flanks. But to fight this flank, your team loses it. Which, sadly enough, happens quite often. But I'm sort of using this position to be able to fight both flanks, like I said. And again, because in the review portion, the speed and whatnot, you want to be able to utilize positions where you can have the most coverage. Or if there's not a position like that, which is why I would have went brawling. But there's a position like this that I can get to in a quick enough time, because it's close enough, and in a quick enough situation to switch between in order to get my most coverage. But if I was on something like Berlin, I'd go brawling, right? Win that flank, then you continue to move on. So far, we've done 1,788 damage, and as much as I'm sitting here waiting, my heavy tank has pushed that TS-60 back into the lane, and we've actually won this flank. So my patience there wasn't rewarded, but I, again, was probably distracted. Still looking for shots on things that might be over there, and the moment I see an outline, I'm like, oh, maybe I can shoot. No. Knowing there's a medium in the middle of the map, knowing that we're somehow winning 9-7 when we were losing 9-10 just a second ago, that I can run over here and I should be safe, right? Should be safe. I don't think the medium has line of sight on me because of the buildings in the middle. So I want to get towards where my medium is to sort of brawl what might be left of their J6 position, J5, around that corner where we originally saw that E3. Because our other 3 tank destroyers aren't moving. In a moment here, I'm going to notice, but before I notice the TD, I'm going to shoot this light tank and ooh, what a shot. What a huge impact, too, that should have on the game, getting rid of their light tank. We were just winning 9-7, and now it's only 6-6, but before I killed that light tank, it must have been 6-7. So getting rid of their view range, because our view range is gone, our light tank was dead, I don't know when, both of them, is huge, because now it's virtually mediums and tank destroyers versus mediums and tank destroyers, especially now that my one heavy tank is dead. Now, again, I noticed that tank destroyer while shooting the light tank was moving over here. So, what do? Be aggressive. It happened to be a baby waffle that's on 2 shots for me. I put 1 in, he bounces me with 750. And we're gonna hopefully not take any damage coming up here. I try and angle my armor and it works. 1500 block. He was using the 15 centimeter and I blocked both of those shots. Now this one here, I'm stupid. I should have went to the right a lot sooner, but I thought I was low enough and also quick enough to get behind the rock. So I take a very unnecessary hit from the E3. Now I really wish I didn't take that hit at the end of this game because, well, that was one of those butterfly effect hits, you know. Waffle kills our E4, I kill this 268 on the move, and I know there's stuff in the middle, so I have to driving to get to this ridge for cover. I'm detected and spotted and targeted, and I don't want to be. Luckily, didn't take any hits. I see that we kind of have wide range coverage of the map, but not good enough. Now, this bat chat on my team could have helped me out so much with this E3 if he just didn't poke the same corner. Now, I wanted him to go around this mountain, down on the low end, and come back up around the E3 to prevent him from taking any damage from targets in the middle of the map. But instead, he's going to climb the ridge instead and predictably die to the waffle. So now I'm alone against the E3. I'm 2-shottable. He requires a lot of shots. He's full health. But maybe, just maybe, I can make this work. Now, please bounce me, I say, but I gave him my upper plate. I was hoping he would bounce the auto ricochet. He did not. We penned the first shot on the lower plate. We did hit his ammo rack. He's used up a repair kit, but now we're getting to his sides. But this thing can't turn while driving, so I have to stop and turn. And then the bushes cover the tip of the rock, so I actually didn't see where the tip of the rock was. Luckily, he missed, though, which means, hopefully, I can do this, right? 1. I should be able to reload before he does. I have 400 alpha, not 420. So I have to high roll this, and I do. Lucky high roll. So now we've done 4,600 damage, and we have 5 kills. And it's 3-2. And I know there's a waffle left, and I don't check the roster here to see what the other tank is, but we know where the waffle is. He's in the middle of the map. That's where you kill the bat chat from. And I see both of my tank destroyers going over there. And I know I can have an angle from here into the middle of the map, so I try to. The other one is a one-shot TS-60. As I check the roster, he appears on the map. Now, same situation that we had just a moment ago, a baby waffle versus the TS-60, except the TS-60 is one-shot, the baby waffle is 2-shot, and the TS-60 is looking down at him, meaning, since he's rear-turreted as well, and can't go fully traversed on the rear, he must have given that man his lower plate, and the baby waffle didn't connect. We don't connect our round because this angle we have is actually a very finicky pixel angle shot. But instead, we're going to put one into the waffle, who kills our, what I believe was, a full health Death Star. So now we've done 5,000 damage, and we have 5 kills, and it's from a 3-2 to a 1-2. And now I'm hoping that I can outspot these guys. Because I run optics, I'm really hoping that I can spot them at a further distance, and keep my distance, and use my armor at least to not die. But it would have been nice, not to have taken that shot from the E3 before we even got into the fight with the E3. Because I would have had a nice 900 HP to play with, right? 1,000 HP to play with. To be able to tank at least one hit from the Waffle, no matter the gun he's using. We do spot the Waffle. He's running, though. He's running forward. He has an autoloader. He's not scared of me. I have to hit him at least, or at most, 3 more times. At least 2 more times if I get lucky with the high rolls. Knowing there's a TS-60, though, I'm backing up because I kind of want to climb the ridge and spot again to see if the Waffle's in front of me. And I'm also angling my armor towards the right just in case someone comes from that direction. Could be the Waffle since he's moving so fast forward. Could be the TS-60. I'm not getting my gun up as much as I want to, but there is the TS-60 who just shoots and misses, and I'm lucky enough to hit him. So that is our 6th kill for a Top Gun. We hadn't spot the bait or the Waffle back up yet again, but here he is. There's nothing we can really do, so we take our 1 hit that we can get. He does bounce me, but I give him my lower plate because I pushed too far forward. And we do end up losing the game. 6,000 damage, though, with a Top Gun. Pretty good match. And we do get, actually, a podium finish. 3rd place on a loss, giving us 1,221 base XP. I don't really know what I could have done differently at the end there, except, again, not take the hit from the E3 in the first place so that I could have some more HP to play with. But that was my ace tanker. And that was my only ace tanker because after this one, I stopped playing the tank. But 6,000 damage, 6 kills, 2,000 block damage. We got 1,500 from the Baby Waffle 750 Alpha auto aiming at our upper plate. And some extra damage or ricochet damage from other stuff. But it was a decent game. And again, if we didn't take that hit from that E3, we could have taken another hit from the Waffle and gotten maybe one more shot out. But we still would have died to the Waffle. Like, I still think it was guaranteed loss to the Waffle at that moment. I don't know if... Definitely rushing him wouldn't have been the play because he would have been able to shoot down at my upper plate and still pen me. But regardless, that was our match. It was a good game. It's a good tank. I really do recommend it. Again, if it's not what you're looking for, though, there's still other rewards that come along with it for 6,000 gold. How can you say no? But yeah, it's a very good tank. Highly recommend. That is the Ultimate Pass tank review, the TS-60 for you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.